today we're going to talk about our experience at the Westin Miyako Hotel in Kyoto, Japan.
It was great. We loved it. We had our first onsen experience, a couple little tips and tricks about this hotel we'll share, and what we thought about everything.
So we're going to break it down into 6 categories for you.
The hotel itself, the rooms, the staff,
the amenities, and the food, and the location.
and we'll give you a rating on all, and then our overall rating at the end of this video on what we thought about the Miyako Hotel, Westin Hotel in Kyoto.
Yes, so let's start with the hotel itself.
I liked it when you walk in. So you kind of, it's nothing special when you drive up. I wouldn't say I don't remember being like, wow, I can't wait to get inside.
The overall outside of the hotel is it was a letdown to me. It looks kind of old, it looks kind of dingy, it looks kind of grungy, it looks kind of dirty, but that's a very stark contrast from the inside because the inside's very nice.
Yes, big high ceilings, lots of light. It was beautiful.
I thought it was nice, I thought it was clean, I thought it was new looking, I thought it was luxurious. So overall, I thought the lobby and stuff was quite nice, and we had someone greet us at the door. They were friendly. We had someone take our bags, take us to the front desk. The front desk was friendly and helpful. So I think overall, the initial experience was nice.
So we rate the hotel itself an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Let's get into the staff. I thought the staff were all pretty good. However, there wasn't one person that I was like, wow, they went out of their way to make our check-in or our experience.
Yeah, I wasn't absolutely blown away with the staff. They're all friendly, they're all great, but comparing to when we were in Tokyo, where the staff, everyone was so friendly and nice and waiting and smiling and helpful, it was just not as up to par with that.
Yeah.
But it was still very nice and
Nothing
they were
bad,
good.
no one was rude, however, just no one went above and beyond.
Exactly. So we'd give that probably a 7 out of 10.
Exactly. All right, let's get into the rooms. We were lucky and they did upgrade us to a suite with our Marriott status. I liked the room. The weird thing to me about the room that kind of killed it for me was that you had to walk around the corner to get to the toilet.
Yeah, it was strange. So there was a big, open, spacious bathroom with 2 sinks, a large tub, a large shower, but the toilet was separate, and it was separated by quite a distance. It's almost when you walk into the room, the toilet's to your right, and then the main room and the main bathroom are kind of separated by a decent amount of distance.
Great if you eat something that makes your stomach and you want your privacy.
Which I need that sometimes.
That is true. But in the middle of the night, I did not like to have to walk all the way to the front entrance to get to the toilet.
So the room overall was quite nice. It was very spacious and luxurious, I thought. I thought all the finishings were good. I thought all the furniture was very good.
It was modern and luxurious.
Yes, absolutely. And it was like a double-sized room, but they were kind of long and skinny. It was like a big rectangle. So it had a California king bed rather than just your regular king, which is actually a little thinner, but a little longer. So it's not quite as comfortable because I'd rather have a wider bed than a longer bed.
Me too, I like to stretch my arm and not be in Matt's face.
Yeah, even though it's still in my face. But yeah, she likes to sleep in the middle of the bed, basically.
It's cozy there.
Yeah, so I get the last little bit left over.
If he's lucky.
Exactly. So with the California king, there's a little less room. But other than that, the room was luxurious, it was clean, it was nice, it was spacious.
The bathroom was really well lit, which is nice when you're putting on your makeup. It did fry my curling iron though, and I had to throw it out. All of the other hotels, it was fine. And then that one, something about the electrical, it won. But the shower was really nice. It had a button that you push. So instead of turning your bathtub on, you push a button to fill up your bathtub, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then just a button to turn on, a button to turn off for the shower.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before, but I actually thought that was very convenient and nice.
And they did actually have a nice little snack plate and a bottle of sake when we arrived, which was a nice touch too.
And they also had pajamas and
robes to wear down to.
Robes that were like your traditional Japanese style robes to wear down to the onsen and spa.
That was nice too.
And the view was nothing spectacular. It was kind of looking into the courtyard where they have a garden. And it was nice, but nothing too amazing if you ask me.
The one thing I did love is sleeping. It was completely blackout. You push a button and the blinds close, which I really like too.
Yeah, the automatic blinds, the automatic blackout blinds are a very nice touch.
And then to get to the spa, once you're in your little robe thing, there is an extra elevator that's just for the spa. So you don't have to go through the lobby or any of the other regular areas in order to get down to the spa, which is cool.
So overall, what do you give the room?
Like an 8?
Yeah, I'd give that an 8 as well. And that's compared to other suites, not just a regular room. So.
Definitely.
So now let's talk about the amenities. So that's the gym, the spa, and the onsen.
I loved how the onsen was included for hotel guests, so there was no extra charge for that. You got to put in your little robe, you take off your shoes as soon as you enter, which just kind of felt like a unique Japanese experience, and I loved that. And then the spa was beautiful. It wasn't the best spa I've ever been to. There wasn't a lot of different features and like steams and all of that. But if you did go down to the onsen, which was already included, it was quite special. I liked that you could go outside for the onsen or stay inside depending on what you prefer. I of course love the fresh air, and just being outside in like those hot pools was very relaxing.
Yeah, the onsen was very nice, a very unique, cool Japanese experience to go do. The massage was very nice, the masseuse was good, but the actual facility itself was nothing special.
No.
We're used to pretty nice spas like Four Seasons and the Venetian.
And it was just as expensive as the Four Seasons of the Venetian.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap at all. And it was a very good massage, but it's just the actual facility was nothing special.
I think it's $250 per person for a 1 hour massage. Might have even been 50 minutes.
Yeah, so not cheap at all.
No.
And they actually waste a little bit of that time cleaning your feet.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of like, just rub me down.
I'm like, don't bother me with all those little details, just rub me.
So the spa was nice, but nothing spectacular. The onsen was absolutely something you're not going to get anywhere else, or we've never seen anywhere else, and it was very nice. The outdoor pools were really cool. They did have a steam in there, some showers, some indoor pools as well. I think they were naturally...
Yeah, it was from a natural...
Like a natural spring, hot spring, so that was cool as well. And yeah, I really enjoyed
all the added minerals for your hair and skin.
Yes.
I had a great onsen experience. It was like maybe 3 people in mine.
I had 2 different onsen experiences. They were both very different. The first time, there was only about 3 or 4 people in the whole place. It was very relaxing, very nice, very comfortable. The second time I walked in, and there was probably 100 to 150 guys in there and kids and running around, and it was not relaxing whatsoever. I literally walked in, turned around and left. So
also, if you have a tattoo, you are not allowed to enter the onsen, and you do have to shower before going in, which is probably not a problem for most, but if you have a tattoo, you are not welcome.
Yep. And I would like to talk a little bit more about the gym, but we didn't use it.
We did not.
So
we were too busy eating.
Yeah, we walked by it a couple times. It looked okay, didn't look like anything special.
No, it was pretty small actually. They did have the one area where you could go and do like yoga and Pilates, and like they had the bars, like the wooden bars to climb up, which I don't know what you do with those.
I don't either.
Reminded me of like a elementary school play gym.
But like the actual gym, if you want to go get like a normal workout with weights and treadmills, it was quite small. It was just a little room, and there wasn't a whole lot to it. So
that's why we didn't work out.
Yeah, exactly. If it would have been a better gym, we would have been
obviously
in much better shape.
So we rate the amenities a 9 out of 10 for this hotel, but basically that was strictly because of the onsen and how it was free to use and beautiful.
Yeah, if they didn't have the onsen, I'd be giving this probably like a 4 out of 10. But that onsen really pumped the numbers up.
Agreed. All right, let's get into my favorite topic, the food, but I was a little disappointed at this hotel. It was okay. The breakfast was pretty good, like lots of different options, but there was nothing that like, except for the ongiri station where they made me like the rice thing in the morning.
Right.
Besides that, I wasn't really blown away by anything.
Yeah, I thought the breakfast was pretty good. Still nothing spectacular.
Oh, the hash browns were really good though.
The hash browns were really good. They had a nice almond station. They actually had an ice cream station as well.
Yeah.
I didn't utilize that, which I should have, but ice cream for breakfast seemed a little strange. The view was very nice for the breakfast restaurant. It was kind of one thing, we'll get into the location a little better later, but you're right on the edge of the city near the forest, so you're kind of get a little bit of view of the city, a little bit of view of the forest, and that's pretty cool while you're just sitting eating breakfast.
It would also take about 10 minutes to get a coffee every morning.
Yeah, which was kind of frustrating. It's not like the service is bad and they're running around and they're working hard, but for whatever reason, you ask for your coffee and sometimes they forget, and sometimes it takes 10 or 15 minutes. So especially if you want a decaf, then you're really waiting.
And I do like decaf. I can't have caffeine. I'm already crazy enough.
Yeah, we don't need to caffeinate her anymore. So the food was okay. We didn't really try that many other options at the hotel other than that. We were going to get room service one night, but Caitlin decided she didn't want it.
Nope,
so
Matt fell asleep with it in his hand.
Yeah,
And apparently I was supposed to know that means order what he had on the screen.
Exactly, and she kind of fumbled the bag on that one, but that's okay. We just watched Trek and went to bed, so that was cool.
We didn't talk about the lounge though. The lounge's food. So compared to all the different lounges that we've been to, the food was, they hardly had anything. They did have a big bowl of Valrhona chocolate, so that was a plus for me. And each day it would be like a different flavor. So like one day it was raspberry, one day it was dark. I liked that. And the bar selection, like if you wanted a cocktail, great. And they also had little mini individual packets of matcha, and that made me really happy. But besides that, there was no food that we actually ate because it didn't look appetizing.
Yeah, most club level lounges have a little buffet for lunch or dinner, And this basically had like
some hors d'oeuvres at dinner. Yeah, dinner time.
this had like 3 or 4 options of not much, like mixed nuts, some fruit, stuff like that. So it's pretty boring up there. View was great as well, but other than that, the lounge was kind of a miss.
Overall, we'd rate the food a 6.5 just because there was nothing that I need to go back and get. And when there's nothing that I need to go back and get, okay, I'm bored.
And I think if we would have tried more options, it could change this a little bit. But overall, from what we had, what we experienced, it was nothing special.
Exactly. There's thunder outside. It agrees with us on the food.
Yeah, it does.
It's pissed.
Okay, so now let's get into the location, which I actually really liked the location. I thought it was very convenient and
We were able
quiet.
to walk anywhere and like get to like the main area. Well, I don't even know what the main area is, but in 10 minutes. There was so many great things to see along the way, like temples and shrines and little areas with ponds and bridges. So everything around it was beautiful, and I liked that. You just kind of could go where the wind takes you.
Yeah, well, one morning we got up early to go see a particular temple, which is supposed to be one of the best in Kyoto. It's about a 30-minute walk, and all along the way we're seeing other temples and parks. And
like, I wish we had like 5 more hours for that walk because there was just something to see every which way you look.
yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. And then if we went another direction, it was more into the city where there's restaurants and food and things to do and see, and the river
And shopping.
So I thought it was a perfect location. It's quiet, it's kind of on the edge of the city, but yet it's close enough that you can walk to basically anything you want to do, or a quick cab ride.
Yeah, if you don't want to walk that much or with someone who's older who maybe can't do it, it might be a little bit more on the outskirts. However, for our purposes, it was perfect.
Absolutely.
What would you give location?
I would give the location an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, now let's get into the cost. On average, it's around $300 to $700 US a night. This depends on the time of year, how busy it is, all that, and that's for a regular room.
So I'd say it's worth it if you're getting like the 300 for sure. If it's up in the 700, it might be a little bit more worth it if you're traveling with someone who has status with Marriott, so you can get that upgrade and then the lounge access. But if I didn't have that and the free breakfast, I'm not quite certain it would be worth it.
So overall, we give this hotel a 7.75 out of 10.
And we would stay there again, so we did enjoy it. However, there's a couple things that we were lacking compared to other hotels that we absolutely love.
Absolutely, I would go back, but there was a couple things I would change if I was in control of the
I'd just
hotel.
float in the onsen all day.
As long as it's not super busy.
Yes. All right,
All
like,
right.
subscribe, do the thing.
Turn on notifications.
Woo!
Okay, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed.